Most of what they've been telling y'all about business credit is cap. I'm here today to get rid of all the hearsay and tell y'all how business credit really works. The first myth they telling y'all about business credit is that you can get high limit business credit cards without using a PG. Now, when I first started, I definitely ran up all the Net 30 accounts, the Quills, the Granger, Shirtsy, Business Solutions, and I had multiple trade lines on my business credit profile. But when I went to big credit card companies like Amex, Chase, and even banks like Truist and Navy Fed, they still wanted me to use a PG even though I had trade lines on my business credit profile. So this was like my first wake-up call that these vendors aren't going to be the only thing that these lenders look at when it comes to loaning your business money. And honestly, that's still cool, because even though they want you to guarantee the debt with your personal credit score, the only time that using a PG actually matters and can be detrimental to you is if you plan to don't pay the money back, and that's just not what type time we on, bag chasers. Now, there still are some companies that are willing to give your business funding and credit without using your personal guarantee. Now, these companies are actually going to validate your lending status by using proof of income, which essentially means that they're going to require either bank statements or at least 2 years of tax returns from your business proving that you're making multiple six figures. So if our goal is to get business credit as fast as we possibly can, how does trying to find a way to get around a PG actually make sense? Myth number 2 is that you have to be in business for a long time before you can actually get your business funded. I'm here to let you know that there's no specific timeline that you need to go through to get business credit for your company. Personally, I wasted a lot of money and a lot of time, up to a year, playing around with these Net 30s trying to get business credit and generate a paydex score. But once I actually started to understand the business credit game, I was able to create a new LLC, structure it, and get it funded up to 5 figures of business credit literally in about 2 months. To be honest, these big institutions are more worried about your relationship that you have with them and your personal credit history more than they are your actual business limit. Now, this is where one of my favorite concepts that I call relationship banking comes into play. Now, all relationship banking is having multiple products with one lender that helps strengthen the relationship that you have with them, and they're trusting you as a borrower. Now, these type of products that help strengthen your relationship with a lender can be things like personal bank accounts, business bank accounts, switching your direct deposit from your 9-to-5 over to that bank, and even things like secure personal credit cards and secure loan. This is actually where Navy Fed is really infamous for being one of the best relationship banking lenders. And one of the hacks that a lot of people use is taking advantage of what they call a pledge loan, as well as all those other aspects I just covered to strengthen that relationship. By taking the proper steps and incorporating this strategy, your business can literally get funding in a matter of months. The third business credit myth is that it's only good when your business is in an emergency. Cap. Business credit can literally be used to grow your business at any time. Yes, it can be used to get your business out of a jam in instances where you may not have the cash, but honestly, I think it's even more impactful in the beginning of your business to start funding your operations and growing your business when you might not have the money to start out with by yourself. When you first start a business as a new entrepreneur, there are usually 2 ways that you start to grow and fund your operations. Number 1, being leveraging your 9-to-5 income to infuse into your business and really use your job to help fund your empire. The second option is one that I'm really big on, and I think everybody can do no matter how much you make in a 9-to-5, is essentially getting business credit and leveraging that money into your business to help grow and scale your operations. Think about it like this. Imagine that you're starting a product-based business like selling clothes, or for my queens, selling something like hair, makeup, or lashes, right? Now, when you first start these businesses, you got to start to buy inventory and look for ways to start marketing your business. And a lot of times you may not have the money required to start looking out at vendors and getting these samples for your products. Now, in this scenario, business credit can be really impactful for your business, because instead of using your out-of-pocket money that you may not have to start getting this inventory, you can actually use the capital from lenders to pay for inventory, to pay for things like marketing, to actually start this business and start growing it. Now, once your business starts making income, that's when you use that money to essentially pay back these lenders that helped you start your business in the first place. Now, a great play to run with this is actually taking advantage of 0% interest credit cards that will allow you to spend money on them, and they'll give you a fixed period like 6, 9, and even 12 months to spend on a card without accruing extra fees, which allows you to leverage that debt, pay for the things you need in your business, and you actually won't even start to pay fees and even interest until that period is up. So if you have a great business and you start making money in those first few months, you can literally use that debt and pay it back without paying paying anything on it. That's a free asset over free business. And like I said, it's one of my favorite ways to start getting into businesses by using business credit. Big startup tech companies do this all the time in Silicon Valley, where they'll actually have a business idea and they'll start shopping it around to private investors and start taking on funds from these investors and use that to grow their business. And once their business starts booming and they really start rolling, they then use that money to pay those investors back, or better yet, they give those investors a percentage of the business so that in turn they are paid back for what they gave them in the beginning. You literally see this all the time with those big tech companies like Uber, Airbnb, and even Facebook. To me, this strategy is literally the definition of leveraging business funding to start and grow a business. Now, we're about halfway through busting the biggest business credit myths that too many people have been falling for. And if you're getting value from this content, not only should you like and subscribe to the channel, but I got something else for you that's going to take your education of business credit to the next level. I literally just dropped my ultimate business credit playbook, and it goes even deeper into my experiences of business credit and the exact strategies that I use to fund my business with 6 figures of business credit in less than 90 days. And because I always want to give my bag chasers the most value possible, I actually included a discount code to get my ultimate business credit playbook at 50% off for everybody that's watching, and the link is going to be in the description. So don't sleep on this opportunity to literally have the step-by-step guide on how I was able to get 6 figures of business credit at your fingertips. So check out the link in the description if you want even more business credit sauce with my playbook. Now back to these last 2 business credit myths. The 4th biggest business credit myth is that personal and business credit are the same. Yes, there are a lot of similarities for the two, but personal and business credit are 2 entirely different concepts that are used for different reasons. So when you start to think about the purpose of the two, let's first talk about personal credit. Number 1, this is based off of using your social security number. And I would say that personal credit is more for emergencies or making big purchases that somebody wouldn't normally do with cash. Think about like if your water heater in your house bursts, buying new appliances, or having to replace your roof. And also, a lot of financially smart people do use personal credit cards to pay for things so that they can rack up rewards points and then go ahead and pay that debt right back using the cash. And honestly, that's how I funded this trip to Bali without paying hardly any money out of pocket. And this is also something that you can do with business cards as well, as far as racking up rewards points. Now, when we start to look at the differences when it comes to business credit, usually the lending on this is going to be attached to an entity's EIN or your employer identification number. And opposed to emergencies, like we talked about, business credit is usually used for starting and growing your actual business operations. Now, when you think about this, this is the difference between what they call good debt, which is leverage, and bad debt, which is just essentially you excessively overspending with money that you don't have. So a key thing with this is that using personal credit and business credit is a good way for you to keep your spending separate and not mix your personal and your business spending. This is going to be really beneficial for you down the way when you start doing your taxes for your business, and is just going to really benefit you in the long run. When it comes to reporting, business and personal credit are also different there as well. Business credit is actually measured usually on a scale of 1 to 100, which is definitely different than the scale that they use for personal credit. When it comes to credit reporting, both Equifax and Experian do have business and personal credit reporting arms, but when you start to get into business credit, one of the biggest and most well-known reporting agencies is going to be Dun & Bradstreet. And as we talked about before, business credit typically doesn't report on your personal credit profile and therefore isn't going to have a negative impact on your personal credit score. And another key difference between the two are actually the limits that lenders are willing to give you, because lenders know that businesses usually have bigger expenses and higher spending values. They're usually willing to give a business entity 3 to 5 times the credit limit that they would give to an individual borrower. A perfect example of this is when I actually got personal and business credit from Navy Fed. When I first got into Navy Fed, I applied for their Navy Federal Amex card, and they did give me a really good limit of about $7,000. At the time, it was one of my highest personal credit limits, but I ran the Navy Fed play with my business entity, and once I applied for the Navy Fed business credit card, they actually came back and gave me $25,000. I was super shocked at this, but like I said, it makes sense because in their eyes, my business is going to spend a lot more than I'll be doing as an individual. But for now, know that you're probably going to get a higher limit of your business credit than you are your personal credit. All in all, having a good mix of both personal and business credit is ideal, and it's going to help you navigate almost any financial situation in your life. Now, when it comes to the fifth business credit myth that we're going to bust today, it is that you actually need a traditional product or service-based business in order for your business entity to start getting funding. Now, this is just false, and you can actually start a business with the sole purpose of investing in income-producing assets as opposed to starting one that you're going to sell products or offer services. Now, personally, this is my intention with one of my business when it comes to building my real estate portfolio. Even though I'm not using the funding that I'm getting from business credit lenders to start a business that I sell products or offer services for, I use that business credit to buy the property, rehab the property, and then once it's up and running and I place tenants in it, they start paying rent, and then I use that rental income from that property to pay back the lenders who gave me the business credit. If done properly, you actually end up with an asset that appreciates in value over time and generates you cash flow month after month. Now, for all my bag chasers who are much like myself, who might not have had a lot of money that they could save coming from their 9-to-5 and are just living check to check, this is a great place to leverage other people's money and get an asset and essentially have it pay for itself. Remember, the goal of business credit in any capacity is to use it to take your life as well as your business to the next level, even when you don't have the money at first to do it yourself. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there on the internet that are giving out bad information and leading you in the wrong direction. You need to be smart and patient when it comes to building business credit the right way. But if you are ready to run these business credit plays and you want to learn how to get over $20,000 of business credit in just one day, make sure you watch this video right here.